In classical mythology, Memnon, the king of Ethiopia, is consistently described and depicted as black. Ancient Greek vase paintings frequently portrayed him with black skin. Roman authors like Virgil and Ovid explicitly referred to it as dark or black-skinned. In Greek mythology, Memnon was a king of Ethiopia and the son of Tithonus and Hipparchus and Disichus, the goddess of the dawn. During the Trojan War, he brought an army to aid the Trojans. Memnon is most famous for killing Antilochus, the son of Nestor. Seeking revenge for his fallen companion, Achilles challenged Memnon to single combat. Although warned that his own death would soon follow Memnon's, Achilles accepted the challenge. In the duel, Achilles slew Memnon by driving a spear through his chest. The death of Memnon mirrors the earlier death of Hector, another defender of Troy whom Achilles killed to avenge the death of Patroclus. After Memnon's death, Zeus was moved by the grief of Eos and granted her son immortality. The story of Memnon's final battle was told in the lost epic Ethiopia, believed to have been composed during the 7th century BC. His death was later described by Quintus of Smyrna in the Post-America and by Philostratus in the Imagines. Roman-era writer Dictys Cretensis records that Memnon arrived at Troy with a vast army of Indians and Ethiopians, numbering in the thousands and equipped with many different kinds of weapons. According to the account, the army exceeded even Priam's greatest hopes. Strabo preserves a tradition attributed to Simonides that Memnon was buried near Paltus in Syria. On the banks of the river Badas, Memnon in ancient art Memnon appears frequently in surviving Greek art. Vase paintings often depict him as a dark-skinned warrior, archer, or king. Modern catalogs have identified more than 100 surviving references to Memnon in ancient artistic and literary sources. One notable image depicts a black archer accompanied by 2 Amazons. Scholars have debated whether the figure represents Memnon himself or is an attendant associated with Memnon in the Post-America. According to Quintus of Smyrna, Memnon arrived at Troy shortly after a debate among Polydamas, Helen, and Priam concerning whether the Ethiopian king would come to the city's aid. His army was described as so large that it could not be counted. Upon arriving, Memnon was honored with a great banquet hosted by Priam. During the feast, the 2 leaders exchanged stories of their past victories. Priam declared that Memnon would become Troy's savior, but Memnon remained humble and insisted that true worth should be proven in battle rather than through boasts. Before the next day's fighting, Zeus commanded the Olympian gods not to interfere in the conflict because of the importance of Memnon's fate. In battle, Memnon killed Antilochus after Antilochus had slain Memnon's companion Aesop. Nestor attempted to challenge Memnon despite his age, but Memnon refused, believing it dishonorable to fight an elderly warrior. His respect for Nestor reflects the heroic values often associated with Achilles himself. Nestor then begged Achilles to avenge his son. Both warriors entered battle wearing divine armor crafted by Hephaestus, creating another parallel between them. Memnon as an ally of Troy and Virgil. Memnon leads eastern armies from Ethiopia in support of Troy. Virgil refers to the arms of Black Memnon, emphasizing both his ors and lengerierity. Like Achilles and other great Hestus, Memnon and great heroes, Memnon possessed armors were crafted for him through the intervention of his mother Eos, or weighing of souls. To form between Achilles before the duel, a psychostasia, or weighing of souls, to determine which hero would die. Both warriors were granted extraordinary strength and endurance so that the entire battlefield could witness their clash. Eventually Achilles struck Memnon through the heart, causing the Ethiopian army to flee. According to later traditions, the gods transformed drops of Memnon's blood into a river. His loyal followers who remained behind to honor him were changed into birds known as the Memnonides, which continued to Zeus to restore her cleanse his tomb. Eos pleaded with Zeus to restore her son to life. Although Zeus did not resurrect Memnon, he granted her the ability to behold him briefly each dawn, as she opened the gates of heaven for the rising sun. John Malalas later wrote that Memnon was king of the Indians and arrived at Troy with a fleet and great wealth, eventually assuming command over the allied forces before being killed by Achilles. The Memnon Pietà, one of the most famous artistic depictions of Memnon, shows Eos holding the body of her fallen son. This image, often called the Memnon Pietà, survives on an Attic red figure cup dated to approximately 490–480 BC. The scene portrays Eos lifting Memnon's lifeless body while mourning his death. The image emphasizes both maternal grief and heroic sacrifice. Memnon and the Ethiopians. Ancient Greek and Roman writers consistently associated Memnon with the Ethiopian. Classical definitions describe the Ethiopians as dark-skinned peoples, living far to the south. Diodorus Siculus specifically identifies Memnon as king of the Ethiopians who bordered Egypt. Although the earliest version of Memnon's story survives only in fragment, later Greek and Roman authors consistently portray him as a great Ethiopian ruler and warrior. Philostratus describes artistic representations of Memnon as a powerful black warrior whose physical strength rivaled that of Achilles. He notes that Memnon's skin was black, yet carried a reddish hue. Not all ancient traditions agreed on his origins. The Suda, a Byzantine encyclopedia, states that while Memnon commanded Ethiopian forces at Troy, he himself ruled from Susa in Asia. Parentage and origins. According to Greek myth, Memnon was the son of Eos and Tithonus. Tithonus had been carried away from Troy by Eos and taken to the far edges of the world near Oceanus. Hesiod describes Memnon as the bronze-armored king of the Ethiopians. Some traditions state that Memnon was raised by the Hess on the shores of Oceanus. Modern scholars note that ancient writers sometimes associated Memnon with both Africa and Asia, because ancient geographical concepts of Ethiopia and India were often fluid. Memnon developed a dual identity in classical literature. Roman writers, however, consistently described him as black-skinned. Following his death, Eos mourned deeply. Some traditions state that she darkened the light of the sun and called upon night to conceal her recovery of her son's body. With the aid of Hypnos and Thanatos, Memnon's remains were carried back to Ethiopia. Eos then begged Zeus to make Memnon immortal, a request that Zeus granted. The Colossi of Memnon are two enormous stone statues of Pharaoh Amenhotep III located in Luxor, Egypt. Beginning in the 1st century AD, Greek and Roman visitors identified the statues with the legendary Memnon. This association may have arisen because one of the statues faced the sunrise and produced mysterious sounds at dawn. Ancient writers such as Pliny the Elder recorded reports that one statue emitted musical tones in the morning. Travelers journeyed great distances to hear the phenomenon. Pausanias described the statue and noted that many believed it represented Memnon, who was said to have marched from Ethiopia through Egypt and onward to Susa. After an earthquake in 27 BC damaged one of the statues, the sounds reportedly became even more pronounced. Roman Emperor Hadrian and Empress Sabina famously visited the site Sisti hoping to hear the statue's voice. Later repairs are said to have silenced the phenomenon permanently. Legacy Memnon stands among the greatest heroes of the Trojan War tradition. Though ultimately defeated by Achilles, he was remembered as a noble king, a mighty warrior, and a heroic defender of Troy. Ancient literature, art, and later historical traditions preserved his image as the dark-skinned king of Ethiopia, beloved son of Io, and one of the last great champions to challenge Achilles before the hero's own death.